Got him. Oh, nice little perch. Another one down there too. That's not a bad perch for around here. Get him back. Today's show, we did one of these in the summer and it worked out pretty well, and we'll do another one. It's all about a new lake, fishing a brand new lake. And we're up here just outside of Detroit Lakes a little bit. And I've never been on this lake in my life. Never even heard of it until about 2 hours ago. And we're gonna try to see what we can come up with for a little system on getting into a new lake. And we're gonna go through some of the tips and tricks on finding and catching fish on new lakes. That's just a little guy. Get baited up and get back down there. So I got a couple minutes here. I want to kind of go over what I look for when I come up and I'm going to fish a brand new lake I've never been on. This is what I call my Bible book, and it's just a area fishing map lake. It's just got 4 or 5 counties in it, and it's got all the lakes that have maps for them and stocking data and clarity and accesses, and this is really a useful tool when it comes to fishing any lake, even if you know the lake. A lot of this stuff is a little older, but it gives you a very good idea of kind of what's in the lake, what you can look for, what you can expect to go out and catch, and to give you ideas on where to start looking for fish. So I'm just going to flip open to a page. This is not the lake we're on, but this is West Olaf Lake here. And on this lake, on this side, this tells me township, all that kind of stuff. It tells me how big the lake is. It's 143 acres. Ceci disc is the water clarity. And that's important because that'll allow you to know if it's going to be more of a daytime bite or an afternoon, evening, nighttime bite. It tells you the color of the water, which is important for getting what kind of color lures you're going to use when you go out there. It tells you your maximum depth, accessibility, whether there's boat ramps or you got to pay to get on it or whatever it may be. But this is the important part here. This is your stocking or your trap nets and gill net data. And just say I was going to go out here for crappies. The average crappie is just over 1/10 of a pound, which is pretty small. Black crappies, right here, these are the numbers that I always pay attention to. The weights can be off because they get so many in a gill net that it could oftentimes drops the weight down because a lot of small ones get in there. And that's just from where they set the gill nets and that kind of thing. But these are the important numbers right here. Here, if you look at this one, black crappie, there's 2 of them from 9 to 11, 17 from 6 to 8, and 5 from 0 to 5. That tells me that most of the fish that I would catch when I go out there are going to be 6 to 8 inches. Now, if you really get technical, and you know this book was made in 2010, you know, it's been a couple years, those fish are probably 9 to 10 now, 9 to 12. So, but this is the data you want. You know, it's whether it's walleyes or northerns or bass or sunfish or anything. You look at this and it's going to give you more of an indicator than just talking to people will, because it's going to tell you what has been pulled out of that lake, what's in there, and what it's going to be in a couple more years. In here they do offer a little bit on how to fish the lake, some spots to try and check and everything, but for the most part you pay attention to these numbers. And then you can go right over to the map and you can just look. You know, it's winter time right now. Okay, I'm going to pick, here's a little bit of a point. Here's a really big point with some deep water. Yeah, I'm going to start there. Work your way around it. If you don't get anything, pick a new spot. If you do, you just found a gold mine. So this map, this little Bible book like I call it, you can pick them up in a lot of places around the areas. They have the whole state covered. Each one's only a few counties, but they have books for the whole state. And they are truly a blessing when it comes to finding and fishing new lakes. You have so many options out there, so you need to get educated and figure a plan out before you go to these lakes. You're going to save a lot of time on the water and catch more fish. Another little one. Save these for bait for musky fishing. Well, we've been on this new lake for don't know, I think I've only been fishing for about 5 minutes so far. And caught a couple perch. I got a tip up shallow. See if we get any northerns coming through. And what I did when I came out here is I looked at the lake map, and it's pretty featureless out here. There's one little point right where we're at. Other than that, it's just a big deep bowl. And this lake gets down to, maxes out about 78, 79 feet. And it's really sharp. I mean, we're 20 feet from shore and I'm in 18 feet of water. And basically what I'm doing is just process elimination. I went to the first piece of structure I could find, drilled a few holes on it. I'm going to fish these holes for a little while, see what happens, and then we'll get moving on again if we're no luck. So cold, my reel didn't want to work. These perch are little, but they're giving me an idea of kind of what, well, first off, since I don't have a camera with, they're giving me an idea of what the bottom's like, what kind of structures around here, and some possibilities of where, you know, where I could start looking for some walleyes or some northerns or anything like that. So just because you're catching small perch like that doesn't mean get up and pack up and move right away. You gotta pay attention to the signs that the lake's showing you and really just kind of take your time when you fish these new lakes and learn what you can about each spot. These aren't big fish, but you know, it's good action, and especially for a lake I've never been on before. For being out here for 15 minutes, and we've caught quite a few perch already. And I've learned a lot just in these last 15 minutes. I've learned a lot about what's down there and kind of what kind of lake this is. And you know, even just from catching those fish, I'll be able to tell that if there's some northerns in here, there's going to be some good sized northerns. They got good food forage to feed on, and it's really deep, clear water, so fish are going to grow a little slower, and that alone just tells me there's going to be bigger predator fish out here than most other lakes. There's nothing as far as pressure out here. There's a couple spear houses on the other end of the lake. Other than that, there's not even signs that anybody else has been out here. So I mean, those little lakes like that, they can be gold mines, but it takes some time, and you got to be willing to explore and even willing to get skunked for a few times going out before you can find out what those lakes really are capable of producing. A little better. Decides to take home, I guess. So kind of what I did here is I popped a few holes around on this point, and I'm just kind of searching around. You can use a few different rods. I just happened to grab my panfish rod, just a little waxworm and a small jig, just because I wanted to kind of see what's down there. But you could do the same thing with a walleye rod or for northerns or anything. I mean, I got a tip up shallow in case a northern comes through, and then I'm more or less just learning the lake, seeing what's down there and seeing what's swimming around before I make a decision on where to set the house later or get nice and warm. So. Moved around a little bit. Got a little bluegill right there. And what I was able to do after finding those perch, I was able to kind of tell, okay, that's going to be a nice hard bottom right where we were at. So I moved a little bit. I found a little bit of a softer bottom. And I mean, right away when we got here, sunfish are just coming in thick. And it looks fun to me. There's a good one right there. It did not take long. Started getting some really nice bluegills like that. And I'm telling you guys, use those tips from today's show. Find that lake, do a little bit of research the night before, and you guys can have a blast catching all these panfish, northerns, anything you want to catch. You just got to do the research and go out and do it. And don't be afraid to get skunked a few times. That's all part of fishing, so get out there and try it. And until then, I'm going to get some more sunfish. He wants to go back. So I'm going to get some more. You guys have a good one. We'll see you next week.